On April 8th, 2022, 15-year-old Natalie Cramer was attending a Mavericks game with her father, and she seemed to just disappear from the American Airlines Center. She was seen on surveillance video walking out with some men she says she did not know. 10 days later, she was found by law enforcement in Oklahoma with traffickers. In 2023, nearly a year after Natalie Cramer was found, her family shared with me how their daughter returned back to them safely.
We've had season tickets for the last few years.
Their season tickets were in section 221, just below the suites. Morris says just before halftime, his daughter left her seat.
She said she's got to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, yeah, she's 15 years old. I'm like, we've been here countless times. And I'm like, go to the bathroom.
That would be the last time Morris would see her that night. They say security cameras at the AAC captured what happened next.
Less than 2 minutes after she gets up and walks out, the guy in the suite leaves the suite and goes down the escalator.
The Morrises say these surveillance photos show the man walking and talking with their daughter. Brooke Morris says the girl was lured out of the building under false pretenses.
Let's go hang out until the game's over, and then, you can get back to your dad.
Back in section 221.
Absolute panic.
Kyle Morris says he was flagging down security officers, including an off-duty Dallas police officer. They searched the building, but did not find her.
I'm just like counting on these security officers to tell me what to do. I was following direction.
Those directions were to report the 15-year-old as a runaway, not in Dallas, but where the family lived, 30 miles away in North Richland Hills.
There was a part of me that was like, why are you going home? She's there somewhere. But then he said, well, that's what the police are telling me to do.
Dallas police tell the I-Team that is standard operating procedure for parents to report runaways to their home jurisdiction.
Say we live in Houston. Say we live in a different state and we're just in town. They literally would have had us go file with our local.
But it didn't happen in North Richland Hills. These individuals were not in North Richland Hills. They were in Dallas.
Days turned into a week. Then a Facebook friend suggested the Morrises try a new tactic.
Call this guy. He can definitely help you.
We're in a fight, and it's a fight for time.
J.B. Rice is the executive director of the nonprofit Texas Counter Trafficking Initiative, which is based in Austin. He asked us not to show his face to protect his ongoing investigations.
He goes, send me a couple pictures of her.
What identifying features she had, markings, tattoos, piercings, just the whole nine, height, weight.
I'll call you back if I get anything. Okay, thank you so much. Didn't even think I would hear from him.
But she did. He called back just a few hours later, around midnight.
And he's like, I think I found something. He shows me these horrendous websites, and there she was. And my jaw just fell to the floor.
Rice had combed through prostitution ads online. He found the 15-year-old in an advertisement in Oklahoma City. The post claimed she was 21, saying, I am here from Dallas, visiting, looking for some company.
And he said, this is actually a good thing. And I'm thinking, how is this a good thing? This is the most terrible thing I've ever seen in my life. How is this a good thing? He goes, because I know where she's at and I know how to get a hold of her.
Rice managed to get in touch with Oklahoma City's Vice unit early that morning. The Morrises say officers moved fast to find their daughter.
Within 3 hours, they were able to figure out which hotel it was, and they were able to plan an operation to recover her within 3 hours. And mind you, this has now been a full week since the situation happened. Dallas police still hasn't even taken a report.
Oklahoma City police pulled surveillance video from the hotel and saw the girl had been there, but she was gone by the time they arrived. It would be another 2 days before an officer spotted her walking down the street.
He didn't even put two and two together because she didn't look like her pictures. But he said she stuck out like a sore thumb.
The officer took her to the hospital, and that's where the family reunited for the first time in 10 days. Brooke says her daughter was shocked to see them come through the door.
And I said, did you not think I would come for you? And she said, no. She goes, I didn't think you knew where I was. And that's when I found out. She only had found out she was in Oklahoma, I think, within the previous 24 hours. She didn't even know where she was.
As soon as I walked in, our daughter just started sobbing. All I saw was like our 4-year-old little girl laying in that bed. And when she was crying, I got up to her and I hugged her, and she was hugging me, and she said, "Daddy, they hurt me."
And she said, they took advantage of me.
And she said, "You were right about those times that we had talked to her about this type of stuff, you know, being a real thing to worry about."
That 10 days of trauma has forever changed their daughter. Now they're hoping to save other teenagers from the same fate.
Just be where you're supposed to be. Just be where you're supposed to be, where your parents think you're supposed to be, because these things can get so far out of your realm of control in an instant.
Now, a CBS News Texas I-Team exclusive. We hear from Natalie herself. She's now an adult, and she is a sex trafficking survivor. In 2023, she told me what happened to her that night and the days following in April of 2022.
Happy birthday to me! Yay!
You had a big birthday.
A very exciting birthday, my first birthday home in like 2 years.
And you are finally ready to let the world hear your story and see your face.
Yes. I can change people's perspective and make them feel like they have a voice. Like, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. And it feels so strong. It feels so strong saying that. Like, I feel so strong saying that. I never would have thought. A year ago, I would have never been here. I would have never thought I could do it. I'm so proud of myself.
April 8th, 2022. The Mavericks played the Trailblazers at American Airlines Center.
And the shot is good after the pass.
Natalie Cramer and her dad sat in section 221 until the then 15-year-old left to go to the bathroom and never returned.
Police in North Richland Hills need your help to find a missing teenager. Natalie Cramer disappeared from a Mavericks basketball game.
For the next 10 days, her story made headlines. AAC cameras captured the only clues. She was last seen with 2 men.
Some more disturbing details that are emerging tonight from the story of a 15-year-old North Richland Hills teenager.
I was planning on going to the game, but then got anxious and I needed something.
Cramer says she was struggling with anxiety and addiction.
But is that vaping or cigarettes or marijuana?
Vaping and marijuana. And so I just went and I found a male, and I was like, "Hey, do you smoke?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, asked me who I was with, and I was like, with my dad. I don't know where he's at, but we can just chill. It took a turn in the parking garage. I thought he was the only one, and he wasn't. They had a bag of weed and rolling papers. Pretty much once they kind of showed me, I was just kind of going, just shoved in, not thrown in, but I didn't have a choice. It did not take long to know that I was in danger, but wasn't sober enough to do anything about it.
Cramer says the details of that night and the next 10 days are slowly coming back to her, and they are very difficult to hear.
You were raped 3 times in that parking garage.
Yes, I was.
And then you were taken to a house somewhere in Dallas?
Yes. I would say 20, 25 minutes away from the American Airlines Center. And they continued to have me smoke marijuana, and they raped me again. And when I knew I was getting sex trafficked was when he asked me, he said, "Can you go take a shower and then put these clothes on so we can go down to the street?" I didn't think of selling my body, none of that.
Cramer's parents, desperate for answers, hired a private investigator who, within 24 hours, made a terrifying find: adult ads for the young girl being sold in Oklahoma.
You remember going to Oklahoma?
No, I don't.
Did it ever occur to you, I need my cell phone, I need to call my parents, I need help?
There was times that there were a phone and I could call. It didn't run through my mind. I was running for drugs. I was running for all of these other reasons. And in that time, my family was not my number one.
The PI alerted Oklahoma City police, and nearly 2 weeks after Cramer disappeared, this picture was taken.
So I was just walking at those apartments, just like praying. I was just like, God, please have someone, something, whether it's a cop, an ambulance, something, a random person on the side of the road. I was like, God, I can't do this. Like, I please send somebody. Please save me. And not 5 minutes, a cop pulled up next to me and he goes, "Are you Natalie Cramer?" And I said, "Yes, I am."
And you had just prayed?
Yeah. Just not even like a making sense prayer, just like a plead, like, please save me. And he did. He did. He did.
Three-pointer is on target.
It's been 2.5 years since that night at the AAC. Cramer attributes her escape and recovery to faith, family, therapy, and this little guy.
When I got Gunner, I was in a manic. Every morning he forced me to get out of bed. I had to take him out. I had to feed him. He brought that motivation back. He's a dog. He doesn't know, but he saved my life completely.
Do you feel lucky to be alive?
I knew I was gonna die. I knew. But it's scary. It's scary to think that it happens every day. But I hope what people take from this is that it's real. It's real and it's hard, and you may not think it will happen to you until it does. Don't give up on yourself. I'm not giving up. I'm going to continue to speak about it. It's not just my story being told. It's other people's who aren't able to tell their story.
Cramer wants to share her story as well as others, and to do this, the family started a nonprofit called Ashland for Life. They help support and provide resources for sexual assault and sex trafficking victims.